Bill Hagerty of Tennessee joins me now, a Republican member of that Republican conference that some of them have been meeting, including you, I believe, sir, with Pete Hegseth, weighing where this is going to go. Senator, I want to start with something that my colleague Manu Raju reporting that he just sent in from Josh Hawley, your colleague from Missouri, who said he's not 100% sure that it's not 100% clear who Trump wants as Secretary of Defense right now. That was striking to me. Hawley made very clear he would support who the president wants to be the Secretary of Defense. The president has made a nominee, or has told you who he's going to nominate. Do you think it's not clear who he wants to be SecDef?
No, I think it's very clear, Phil. And Pete spoke with President Trump this morning. And President Trump, again, indicated his support. I've been behind Pete from the very beginning. He's actually been using my office as a base as he meets with other senators. And he's done a very good job. It's a process of advice and consent. He's stepping through this, and he's taking a tremendous amount of incoming pressure for very obvious reasons. He's here to change the Pentagon. He's here to put the Pentagon back on a mission of lethality, getting away from pronouns and social experiments, and fixing a broken procurement system. We've got a retention crisis that's terrible. We've got a recruitment crisis that's terrible. And an inspirational leader like Pete is just the person to fix this.
Senator, I know this isn't a place most potential nominees or potential replacements in this case would want to weigh in publicly, but you can't avoid the fact your name is mentioned in a lot of the stories over the course of the last 24 hours. There are people in the Trump transition operation who think very highly of you, would love to have you inside that administration come January 20th. Has anybody reached out to you to talk to you about Secretary of Defense if Hegseth does not make it through?
No, Phil, and I think everybody needs to remain focused on the fact that Pete is the person that President Trump has designated, and I certainly support him 100%. And I think the Republican conference will, as they have their opportunity to get to meet Pete and get past a lot of the allegations that are in the media to the truth, and that is that Pete is a very highly qualified leader, very bright, intelligent, and he's somebody that's going to inspire the rank and file there in the Pentagon, as well as our troops on the ground, that they've got a true leader in place.
It appears today there's been a shift in strategy coming out and trying to fight back, as Pete Hegseth said in his interview with Megyn Kelly earlier today. His mother was also on TV this morning, said she regrets sending an email in 2018 to Hegseth accusing him of mistreating women. She urged senators, especially female senators, to judge Pete Hegseth for who he is today. Has Penelope Hegseth's appearance quelled any of the concerns that some of your colleagues have stated publicly?
Well, I'd say this. I was just with Pete meeting with a large group of House members, and he had an ovation that was resounding. I think that Pete is, as people get to know him again, as people get to see his deliberation, his deliberate stance on trying to repair the Pentagon, to try to fix our recruiting crisis, our retention crisis, I think people are overwhelmingly supportive of him, and I think that's going to continue to move in the right direction. The momentum is with Pete right now.
To that point, what do you attribute kind of the burst of stories, of reports over the course of the last 12 to 15 hours, not made up? I mean, they were coming from people inside the Trump operation that seemed very concerned. We're floating other names. Governor Ron DeSantis was coming out as a potential replacement. Why do you think that's happened?
I think it's totally not constructive. And I think what everybody needs to do is get behind President Trump's nominee. And I think we need to move this thing forward as quickly and as expeditiously as we can, because we need to be ready for President Trump to hit the ground with the team he wants on day one.
The Attorney General pick, the initial one, Matt Gaetz, withdrew from consideration. Pam Bondi seems to have widespread support, the replacement selection.
Yes.
The President-elect's first choice to lead the DEA dropped out yesterday. The drama around Pete Hegseth has rolled since his selection. That's in addition to some other controversial picks that seem to be doing okay right now inside the conference. I guess the question is, from a vetting perspective, you are a veteran of how things are supposed to work. Are you concerned that the vetting wasn't expansive and thorough enough?
No, I'm not concerned at all. Again, I know Pete. He's my constituent. I've known him for years. I think he's going to be an inspirational leader. And I think what we've seen is what happens here in Washington. It seems to be very popular to, go on the offensive, to go on the attack to anybody that, against anybody that President Trump might nominate. The reason for that is President Trump wants to disrupt Washington. He wants to see real change take place. Inertia is the most powerful force in the universe. It's happening right here in Washington, too. That's why we're seeing all this resistance. Washington doesn't want to change. President Trump was elected to do just that.
Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee, thanks so much, sir. Appreciate it.